Hello, this is Shane183, and this is another episode of Pierre's Path to Glory, the Toro Rosso career mode driving as Pierre Gasly. And here we have a new upgrade. I think I did 2 upgrades last time out in Baku. So this week it's Austria, so Chris here has given me the upgrades information, and let's see what he's giving us then. Here's the paper, which probably doesn't have English on it by the looks of things. No, it doesn't. And it is a fuel efficiency upgrade, which will make it 3% better, which is always good to save fuel, and a drag upgrade to make us slightly faster, like down the straights, which is helpful with our Ferrari engine of 2015, which we've got. And let's get into Red Bull there of upgrades and things. We're now 5th in the table of car performance into track acclimatization. Then Austria I always find quite difficult because it's so short. You have to get basically all of them right to get a purple score. But I think I get a purple score first try actually. But it's pretty difficult because some of the gates are a bit broken, so if you get like 4 green gates then you've got a green score because it's impossible to get that many points in such a short track. But I managed it on that time, and then into the qualifying sim I did it in the wet because I find it much easier because the wet times are really slow, and that gets the purple score expected at 3rd position. Into qualifying here, I'm coming to the end of lap 1, I'm right behind Alonso, so give me a bit of slipstream on this first lap. P22 at the minute, Ricciardo's fastest, it's about 5 minutes into the session I think. Alonso goes across the line, so do I, and that puts me in 12th, which isn't that good, just ahead of Alonso actually, behind my teammate Sainz. And onto the second lap, we're about 6 or 7 tenths up, with only 20 seconds left, across the line, and it will put me up into P7. So that is where we're going to start for the Austrian Grand Prix. Is the results: Ricciardo on pole from Verstappen at their home circuit at the Red Bull Ring, and the 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferraris. I'm the best of the rest, with Sainz just 2 positions behind. So let's get into the race.
Austria, traditional home of many great things. Apple strudel, Mozart, Niki Lauda, oh, and of course, one of the finest high-speed racetracks on the planet. We're right in the thick of the season now, and the championship battle is hotting up. But if there's any race that stands to rip up the form book, it's this one.
So race strategy, it looks like a 2-stop race. We went under fuel a bit, but unfortunately my tyre wear is really bad around it because it's one of my strongest circuits in terms of pace, which means tyre wear often compromises for that. But if we go on to the race start, 5 red lights, and away we go from 7th place in the Austrian Grand Prix. Massa behind me, it's a very good start. He's going to go up the inside of Raikkonen. I'm going up the inside of Vettel. It's going to be 4 wide into very narrow turn 1. This isn't going to end well. Contact with Vettel, I get half spin by Raikkonen, and Massa gets past. Massa's going to go side by side with Vettel now. He gets up into 5th. We've overtaken Raikkonen up into 7th, but then Vettel gets a switch to, and Massa, I get a switch to on the pair of them. Go almost alongside into turn 2, make a bit of a lunge on Vettel. He's going to hold it around the outside though. I can't get a good exit because it's so narrow. And there goes Vettel with a good traction back up into 6th. And that was a bit of a good start because he made a position up into 7th. So here we go onto the end of lap 1. Vettel's still right behind Massa. I brake a bit on the curve, which isn't good. I leave the circuit a lot. Then Raikkonen gets past up into 7th. And then Vettel and Massa look like they're going to be attacking each other. Here they go. Vettel just behind Massa up into turn 1. Massa has locked up actually, gone really wide. Vettel takes position. Raikkonen makes contact with Massa. I managed to get the pair of them up into 6th place, and that causes a bit of a concertina effect back behind Massa in 8th, I think, or 9th, and that's just going to slow everyone down. But I got the inside of Vettel again for the 2nd lap in a row, take the position up into 5th place. It doesn't look like he's got the traction to keep up. No, he hasn't. So that was a good complex performance. It's a replay here to start. So there go the Red Bulls off. The top 4 get away well. The Ferraris on row 3 don't get away well. It's 4 wide for 5th place. Sorry. Massa brakes late. It just gets squeezed out by Raikkonen, and he spins me half spins me, and then it's going to be the top 4 break away a bit. Ricciardo, Verstappen, Hamilton, and Rosberg. Hamilton thinks about a move on Ricciardo, but then thinks better of it. Behind, I'm alongside Vettel. I think that's a McLaren alongside Ferrari of Raikkonen. Here it is from Massa. You just see what a launch it is from him. And Williams have been getting very good starts all season, so another one to add to their collection here. Massa gets alongside Vettel and very narrow, and he gets squeezed. Myself and Massa just squeeze out Raikkonen. I'm surprised I didn't get any damage from that at all. And Massa drives past Vettel, and that is going to be a solid start for Felipe Massa. His Raikkonen, you can just see how much the Ferrari is bogged down compared to the Mercedes and Red Bulls in front. And then from Raikkonen, you just see I come on the left, Massa comes on the right. He's left with no room, and then he gets like squeezed into next week, and doesn't lose any of his wing, which is lucky for him. But he did lose 2 positions into turn 1, so we wanted to not do that much more. But then Esteban Gutierrez out the race on lap 4. My tyres are coming towards the end of their life, and now the virtual safety car has been deployed. So this will make things interesting. It's almost time to pit, so I think I am going to pit this lap, which means I can go faster than a delta because I'll then make it up again. I think Ricciardo is in the pits as well, up ahead of me. Yeah, he is, and we'll take advantage of this first safety car. All the top three, Hamilton, Rosberg and Verstappen, aren't going to pit, so me and Ricciardo will have the advantage here compared to them three, sorry. And yeah, pit onto soft tyres, just pit slightly earlier than I was going to, and come out in about 10th, I reckon. Replay of Gutierrez, and it's just an engine failure for the Haas team. They've been quite common for everyone this year. He holds up button a little bit, and Alonso. I think Gutierrez is running about 11th, so it'd be disappointing for him. But then onto the virtual safety car, another engine failure. I think that's a Sauber of maybe Felipe Nasr or Marcus Ericsson. But then come out in 12th place. Perez is going for a move on Felipe Massa after the virtual safety car's ended. I'm on soft tyres at this point. Massa goes wide. I'm looking to up the inside of the last corner, go on the curve a bit, and force out Felipe Massa up into 11th place. And Sergio Perez with his Mercedes engine is going to be difficult to slipstream and catch. So it looks like we're closing in on him. A few cars in the pits on the right. Got the inside of Perez up into 7th place. And we're already on the back of like the people who are racing, even though they haven't pitted yet, Bottas and Massa. So it's very strong that we made that stop under virtual safety car. Here comes Perez though, around the outside of turn 2. Bottas up ahead as well, brake late, force out Sergio Perez. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get past. And no, he isn't. So back into 7th. I think Ricciardo's in about 4th at this point, so he's the main winner from the virtual safety car period. But then the DRS on Bottas, we've got a better exit out of the last corner. Up the inside of Valtteri Bottas, and that is 6th place now. Hulkenberg ahead of me. Jenson Button has an engine failure right behind me, so that's disappointing for him. He had one earlier in the season as well. On to lap 7 now. Hulkenberg is up into 2nd. I'm in 3rd. Hamilton has pitted. I think the only car that hasn't is Ricciardo. Everyone's pitted, sorry. So that is Ricciardo in the lead. Hulkenberg 2nd. I'm 3rd. Hulkenberg hasn't pitted yet, but we've managed to close up anyway. Up in the inside of turn 1, force him out, and up into 2nd place. So yeah, you can see the main winners from the virtual safety car because Ricciardo and myself have got ahead of absolutely everyone. Ricciardo's got about a 10-second lead. Here's Hulkenberg right behind me though, and he's got a front left puncture actually, and he's just turning in, and he just stopped for some reason on the track, and that has caused an enormous traffic jam behind him. Bottas and as Hamilton's lost a bit of wing. There's about 10 cars stuck behind him. That's given me a lot of breathing space. Here's the car in pits that we're lapping, but now that was Ricciardo, sorry, we're not lapping him. We're lapping Jolyon Palmer ahead of me. But on lap 13, my tyres, I've taken the most out of them. These tyres are meant to go to about lap 20, and I've taken pretty much the whole life out of them by lap 13. So that's pretty disappointing in about 8 laps to have taken out all the tyre wear from the soft tyres. And Ricciardo, who has pitted already, is now right on my tail. I think we'll be pitting this lap anyway, so yeah. Release Ricciardo back into the lead. I pit on lap 15, so these tyres haven't gone far enough really. So I'm going to have to switch to a 3-stop race, which is disappointing. But Hamilton's going to go past as well. I think that's Palmer who's unlapped himself. I'm going to pit onto the super soft tyres. They'll go about 8 or 9 laps, and then go into another set of super soft tyres later in the race. And that should be just about enough tyre wear to get to the end. Alonso's in 4th at the minute, having only made 1 stop. I think Ricciardo and Hamilton have made 2 stops each. So come out in 3rd place still. So despite the tyre wear not being great, we're still out in 3rd, unless Alonso takes me here, which is looking likely. He's got the run, and it looks like he's going to go for the inside. He doesn't have DRS or anything, it's just pure slipstream. And I've just come out of the pits on cold tyres. Alonso goes up the inside, he's going to brake late. I have to leave him the space on the inside, and I can't switch back because he's a bit slow on the apex. And that is Alonso up into 3rd place for the time being. Pascal Wehrlein is in 5th currently at the top left corner. And that is amazing for the Manor team to be so high up. I've got the inside of Alonso into the penultimate corner of the track. On the outlap still this is. And back up into a podium position, so it's looking good at the minute. But we've had to make 1 extra stop to everyone else, and the safety car's been deployed, which isn't the best because I can't pit this time because my tyres are on about 30%, so it's not worth making a stop. And the safety car's coming in. I'm up into 2nd after Hamilton pitted. Alonso's still behind me in 3rd. But Ricciardo leads still. Safety car coming in. Hopefully I can apply the pressure to Ricciardo and maybe get back into the lead of the race, as I was for a short time earlier in the race. I've bottled the restart though. Ricciardo's driven away straight away, and Alonso is in 4th. I think Hamilton and Co are in 4th downwards on fresh tyres, so it's going to be difficult to keep them behind for very long. Ricciardo's completely run off on the safety car restart, with myself and Alonso in much slower cars just behind him. So that safety car has helped save the tyres a bit, so I can definitely make the 3-stop work now. Because I feared for a while that I'd have to be going on to 4 stops, which wouldn't be ideal. Now, DRS is enabled. Hamilton doesn't need it though. He's only got the inside of turn 1 on lap 25 anyway, and he takes the position. I do a switchback though, and that is a lovely switchback move, just on the inside of Hamilton. Alonso's right behind as well still, and with the DRS. But Hamilton is right behind. He's going to overtake me anyway by the looks of things. Sainz is down there in 5th, which isn't bad for him currently. Hamilton goes up the inside. I can't switch back this time because he's parked on the apex. I go on the curve a bit, and that allows Hamilton to pull away with the traction that he gets and force me down to 3rd place. Alonso coming back at me for the 2nd or 3rd time this race. I'm battling Fernando Alonso. He gets down the outside of turn 4, I think this is, and we can just force him out quite easily. Sainz, the other Spaniard, is right behind him in 5th, so it's looking good for Toro Rosso currently. I'm still in 3rd. But then lap 26, I've got 10 laps to go after this one, and my tyres are wearing out a lot. I've made a mistake going through the fast left right, and Alonso has taken a position back up into 3rd place, drops me down into 4th. I'm going to go 1 or 2 laps longer on these tyres. I go wider because I've still got grass on my tyres, and that's going to allow Sainz up. I keep just going wide, and it's not ideal because all these cars are just getting past, and these are cars I'm racing because everyone's got 1 more stop to go, including me. So I'm going to pit at the end of this lap. Sainz, I'm going to try and go around the outside, which would be a lovely move if it comes off. Track extend to no end, but it doesn't matter because Sainz went really slowly. Verstappen's now overtaken him as well. And that was a nice move around the outside. Verstappen's got amazing traction though. And here he is. I'm pitting this lap anyway, so I've got to let him go. I don't want to be racing him because it'll block the pit entry for me. So go a bit slower behind him, then pit on 87% tyres, which is a bit risky because they can puncture from 75 upwards pretty much. So pit from 4th place. I think this will drop me down to about 11th or maybe even lower actually because safety car came out not too long ago. So it's going to be a fight back to try and get back into a good position in the high points. Onto another set of super soft tyres. Raikkonen's down in 14th for some reason. He's also in the pits this lap. But I'm in 13th place and we come out in 13th. Grosjean, the next car ahead. Verline is 14th. I think he might even overtake me for 13th actually. And yes he is, there he goes. So Verline is not doing too well anymore. He was 5th earlier in the race, but I'm going to send one up the inside. He cuts me off a little bit. But he's in a manner, so it should be a relatively easy pass. And I've just got to stick behind him until the opportunity arises. And here it is. I go running outside, or maybe not, maybe just fakes the outside, go to the inside for the next corner. And go up the inside of the penultimate corner, as we've seen I've done early in the race, and that is 13th place taken from Pascal Wehrlein, which is disappointing for him because points could be on the cards if everyone else pits. But here we are, Grosjean is the next car ahead. A few people have pitted, so I'm up into 9th with only 6 laps to go. I can push to the end with these tyres, pretty much, because the tyre wear shouldn't be too much of an issue. Get a better exit than the Haas car and the Frenchman of Romain Grosjean. And the Frenchman of Pierre Gasly is going to go right round the outside by the looks of things. And I'm going to try it right round the outside. This would be a great move, and it comes off, and Grosjean has to leave the position. So up into 8th place, and that was a lovely move, if I do say so myself. So up into 8th, and with more people pitting, maybe even high points, like a 4th or a 5th could be on the cards here. So lap 34, only 2 laps to go. My tyres have come off the cliff a little bit. Verline's still up in 7th after Grosjean pitted. Bottas is now in the pits as well. And the guy in 4th is in the pits, who is Max Verstappen, who's pitted onto ultra soft tyres. So that has left me in 4th place with Nico Hülkenberg in 3rd, which is looking, with only 2 laps to go, like he might even be on for a podium here. And on to the final lap, Verstappen on his ultra soft tyres is very close behind me. It looks like he's going to be attacking me a lot. So it's a final lap here. Hülkenberg is 3rd. I think Ricciardo and Hamilton are the top 2. But that'd be amazing for the Germans to get his first podium in F1. Verstappen's absolutely banged on me around the outside on his ultra soft tyres, as I did to Grosjean. He's just embarrassed me by doing it back. So Verstappen takes 4th, drops me down to 5th. Pascal Wehrlein is in 6th. Like, I don't know how that's happened, but he's going to get 6th place by the looks of things for Manor, unless he gets overtaken in the last corner by Alonso. I think the next car behind him is Daniel Ricciardo has run the race. Oh, it's Rosberg, sorry, not Alonso, who has overtaken Wehrlein. But Verstappen goes 4th. Hülkenberg gets a podium. Everything's kicking off. I'm going to get 5th place in the Austrian Grand Prix, which is another solid result.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One. And that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes. And after this round of the World
So that's probably the most mixed up results of the season so far. Ricciardo wins, which isn't too unknown. Then Hamilton in 2nd, Hülkenberg in 3rd for Force India. Again, I think their first podium of the season. And Verstappen 4th, myself in 5th, Rosberg with a disappointing result down in 6th. Then Pascal Wehrlein managed to get 7th for Raikkonen, Vettel and Alonso. So Wehrlein in that manner held off 2 Ferraris for the 6th, 7th place. Onto the championship, it's Raceby back above Valtteri Bottas into 6th place. Hamilton extends his lead at the top from Rosberg and Vettel. Ricciardo moves up ahead of Verstappen after that win. Hulkenberg up above about 5 people, up into 10th place with that podium he got, which almost doubles it more than doubles, sorry, his tally for the season. And still a few drivers yet to score. Pascal Velez on 14 points now, level with Sergio Perez, which is disappointing for the Mexican, but amazing for Verline to get that many points. So Manor are now up into 8th ahead of Haas. We overtake Williams in Toro Rosso for the 4th best team, but that's the most we can hope for really because of how far ahead the top 3 are. But yeah, amazing for Force India get a podium. Manor get a lot of points, so everything's kicking off in the Austrian Grand Prix. I guess Crofty was right when he said that this track ripped up the form book. And onto all the points you just saw, it's going well. We smashed Carlos Sainz in the rivalry. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. So leave a like for these amazing results, which you just witnessed somehow. Subscribe if you want to see more. This has been J83, and I will see you next time.